I still remember that day clearly. It was actually just an ordinary day, but somehow it felt like there was something different. Maybe because of him. Yes, him. The person who made my heartbeat suddenly irregular with just a smile. I was standing at the train station, waiting for the late train as usual. The cold morning air made me shiver a little, but I was too lazy to take my jacket out of my bag. My eyes looked around, trying to distract myself from the boredom. And then I saw him. He was standing not far from me, wearing a simple white shirt and blue jeans. His black hair was a little messy, as if he had just woken up late and rushed to the station. But that was what made him look charming. He was busy reading a book, occasionally raising his hand to brush away the hair that fell over his face. I smiled unintentionally. For some reason, seeing him so calm and absorbed in his own world made me feel warm. But suddenly he turned his head towards me. His big, sparkling eyes seemed to catch my sincere smile. I panicked, trying to look away, but it was too late. He smiled back. His smile was so warm, like the morning sunlight piercing the cold air. From there, everything changed. We started talking, at first just making small talk about the late train, then about the book he was reading. His name was Rara. He was an art student who loved drawing and reading classic novels. I, on the other hand, was just an engineering student who was more into numbers and formulas. But somehow we clicked. Our conversation just flowed, like two rivers that finally met. In the following days, we often met at the same station. Sometimes we just sat in silence, enjoying each other's company without having to talk much. Sometimes we laughed out loud, sharing stories about our days. I began to realize that my feelings for him were growing slowly, like flowers blooming in spring. But like other love stories, there came a time when we had to face reality. He was going to move to another city to continue his studies. I still remember the last day we met at the station. The air felt colder than usual, or maybe it was just me. We stood face to face, trying to hold back the tears that refused to come out. "With your smile, I feel like I can face anything," he said, breaking the silence. I smiled, trying to cover up the sadness that was hanging in my heart. "I'll miss you, Rara." He nodded, his eyes glistening with tears. "Me too, but this isn't the end, right?" I nodded. "No, this is just a break." And then he was gone. The train carrying him slowly moved away, leaving me alone in the station that suddenly felt so quiet. But his smile was still clearly engraved in my mind, a smile that made me believe that one day we would meet again.